Hi, my friends. I know I don't have a great video here of location, but it's actually near this wall area. But anyway, there's some semi trucks in here. It's a nice, quiet spot. I won't have any issues with, and no offense, you can't hate them, but the people on drugs, the people on meth and stuff like that. This is a silent place, so I'm just here where somebody bang on my window or ask me for a cigarette or ask me for some kind of drugs, crystal, things like that. So sometimes I choose quiet places like this that I can just sit and relax and enjoy the holiday, right? So I'm watching some good videos tonight. But then I had to do something because it's very important to me, because everybody always wonders, you see all these YouTube channels, they almost like it's blasphemy to be a so-called Christian, okay? And I want to talk more about that just a little bit. That people ask me if I'm a Christian, I say no. And they say, well, oh my God, why does he say no? Because he talks about the Lord a lot. He talks about the Father in heaven or God and things like this. And but so I'm gonna clarify that, so that you understand why you always see me talking about Lord and Christ and all those things, and Jesus, right? So in Scripture it says that I'm the way, and the life. That the Scripture says that I'm the way to the Father. Okay, that is through the Lord. And I got to be honest with you, that is true for me. Now, whether you can find God in creative ways, I can't answer that. I cannot. But it was the Lord. He was the first one that stepped in. And when I started seeking for the Lord, and I actually said this one time, I was sitting looking out at the sun at the sliding glass door. I was going through a terrible time. The world's falling apart, and all these things in a very expensive house. I mean, I'm just trying to say, because I was already blessed with a lot of things. Had a great house. It's 5,200 square feet. Remember, I told you, swimming pool, hot tub, all these things, right? I was blessed with money, but then things started kind of unravel, and I was disappointed, thrilled, and I didn't want my children to have to face these things that I was seeing going on, right? So I'm ahead of the story. So I'm looking out there. It was about noonish, right, in Colorado. Looking out, so you can see the blue skies out my sliding glass door, which, into my backyard. And I said, I'm looking there. I said, man, is the Lord real and all this stuff? Because I said, if the Lord's real, I would die for him. I said in my head, because man, he made a difference in this world, and I wouldn't be here without the Lord, and things like this, right? So I said out loud. And eventually, I was looking at there. I said, God, I hope the Lord's real, because, man, we need some help here. And, this guy died for us. I'd die for him. I said that. And so I said out loud to former wife Janet. She was standing, it was like, to the right near this kitchen sink here. It had windows that looked out to the backyard. I turned to her and I said, I'd die for the Lord. And I said, because this guy, this whole world's based on, things he did and the message he sent. I said, we wouldn't have this right now. And I said, I'd die for him now I'd die for him so that we'd have a future. And she's like, it totally just immediately just did not accept that. And don't judge her, right? That just wasn't her role or her acceptance or whatever it was, right? She said, what? I said, yeah. I said, I would die for the Lord. And she goes, you gotta be kidding me, Kirk. She goes, you got 4 children here, and she said, you would die for the Lord. And I said, yes, I would. I said, my life wouldn't be, I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be alive if it wasn't for the Lord and all these things that happened historically in our history. And so this guy died for us. And I said, this is amazing individual, gentleman. And I said, not only that, I said, look, there are so many reasons that I would die for him, because I said, we're going to have no future if we don't have help from the Lord. I said, if we don't have this guy involved in us, I said, we might as well forget. I said, your children will have no future. But she goes, and that's what she said. She goes, that's the thing is, Kirk. She said, your children, you'd leave your children here. And she said, you would die doing this and leave your kids without a dad and all these things. And I said, yes, I would. I said, didn't you hear what I just said? I said, in the past, they wouldn't be here. and I wouldn't be here, and you wouldn't be here if it wasn't for the Lord, what He'd done. And I said the ancestors as well that followed and sent His message continuously. I said, our existence is the whole society, and this blessed country. Everything we've done is based off of what the Lord and this Christianity, right? And we know the Lord, the Jesus. And she says, I can't believe that. She goes, you gotta be kidding me. She just went unglued on me. And she didn't talk much. So I was like, whoa. She's like, I can't believe you would actually die. I said, yes, I would. I mean, how many people in this country, die for our country, even today, these soldiers, these ladies and gentlemen that die so we have this freedom. What the Lord did was even, is more significant, right? But let's not take light heart of what our ancestors have done and the soldiers and all those people that fought in the war so that we have a blessed country, right? So they gave up their life. And there's nothing more honorable than to die for one. You can love one another, and which is very important. The Lord said, love one another, but to die for somebody so they have something to live for and give them life, that is a sacrifice. And the Lord did it for everybody. And so even there's individuals that did it for our country. So we got to honor these gentlemen, whether you like war or not. The act of them giving their lives for you and me to have what we have today is just the most honorable thing, right? You can judge it how you want. That is very damn honorable, right? How many people give their life? They won't. They won't even lift a finger in our society anymore. They won't do anything for you hardly. They won't help you on the side of the road, let alone die for you. That's why we have a problem, and that's why we need the Father and Lord to come back and help us, right? So I'm going to some of this story. Okay, so you asked me why. Again, I said why. So everything changed at that moment. I mean, seriously, everything started unraveling, and then we started having, I had issues with my wife, in the house, and it just was a nightmare. Everything was just like immediately, slowly started progressing into this spiritual war, right? And I couldn't see it at first. I was like, man, something's kind of off here, because I hadn't even been baptized much. I hadn't even read the Bible much. I was pretty agnostic growing up and just blind to stuff, right? So then I realized, then I started going to church and taking the kids to church and stuff like that. And I kept thinking, well, my wife, she was halfway in and out of it. She was kind of like, she is more of like, she was just going to church because it's a cool thing to do, right? And that's what good people do, and, kind of a classy thing. My brother started going to church with his wife and his children, so it's kind of like just something to do, right? So we'd go to church, and we'd go to a buffet in Denver afterwards. We went to one of the largest churches in Colorado, the Flatlands Church, right? And did that every Sunday, and had a good time with the family, and on a Sunday, right? Well, sometimes it's not a story. So then you got to fast forward a little bit, things fall apart and get destroyed and all these other things like that. But anyway, the first person who contacted me when I was searching for God and Creator and the spiritual realm and all these things was the Lord. He stepped in one morning, and, and I'll never forget the day. And it was one morning, and he started showing me things. Was just amazing. He showed me all about, he was using some videos, music, and just, he spent time there, and I was like, whoa, he's telling me to let it go, let's let things go, Kirk, we got it in control. And he talked to me for quite a while there, right? And you think I lost my mind, because I mean, this was shocking. I mean, I'm not surprised he didn't go to panic, but I always knew he's kind of there, right? I knew he's just in the background, just kind of working as a soldier and in a shadow, right? And but when he came through and started talking to me, I thought, oh my goodness, you got to be kidding me, this is real. So thank you, Lord, for doing that. I mean, seriously, he came in, and he was showing, and he was so fast at showing me stuff. I mean, I was like, wow. There's times I had this, I mean, you would not believe, lightning speed, boom, 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 boom. What I mean? He was just like, show me this, and I was like, wow. And I said, I said, hold on a second, let me review that, right. I said, let me review that, okay? And he is just lightning fast. I was like, wow, he's moving fast. And that's what I knew was beyond human capability. I'm like, this, nobody can move, because I was, I've seen computers clock very fast. He was moving faster than me monitoring things on a computer. I was like, this is just insane how fast he can move. Well, anyway, so he stayed with me for a while. He came, and it sounds, you think it's crazy. I mean, it's true. And I don't want to describe all the details because it's kind of cool. But I left the house, and he came with me, and And it's a long story. I thought we were going to get raptured that day, and he's laughing at this. I talked about my grandmother, about she liked butterflies. He goes, yes, your grandmother loved butterflies. And he's riding in a sense, with me the vehicle, driving down the road. And I actually thought rapture was going to occur that day, because all these people are talking about rapture this, rapture that. I said, oh my God, we're going to get raptured, because that's why he came in too. Because I said, man, is this rapture thing, is it going to happen to do this? I already packed my bags. I didn't know what rapture meant. I literally packed my luggage and said, man, I'm ready to go. I called my mother and I said, Mom, I said, I'm going on a dang mission with the Lord and everybody else. I said, we're getting raptured today. I said, I'm on a mission. I said, I might be gone for 4 months, or don't know how long, or a year, but I said, we're coming back. And she actually accepted it at first. She's like, and then Bob, he was like my, he's like a father to me. He's like, what is going on, Kirk? And he goes, well, he goes, I guess that's a good mission. And he goes, how long you be gone? I said, well, I think a month, but I'm not sure, Bob. I'm seriously, I had no idea. I was like, what is going on? Because some lady had posted, she said rapture is coming like this week or possibly today. And I thought, and that's when he came and started talking to me right during that. And he didn't answer me on purpose. And it's funny, because when he was talking that morning, like I said, now I'm all over the place because there's so much going on. I had packed my bags, had my stuff ready to go. I threw them in my dang vehicle. I'm driving down the road. But anyway, before I left the house, my mother's house, I asked him, is rapture, is we getting raptured? And he went silent on me. See, sometimes there's a reason that he does these things. Sometimes he won't answer, he won't talk to you, and he may not be talking, the Holy Spirit will be talking to you. Sometimes there's reasons why he does things. It's like, what is he not, he wouldn't give me an answer. And so I'm driving down the road, and I'm talking, and then back to that again, right? Let me stop for a minute. I'd gone to a location in down the road from my mother's house, because to check it, I said, well, I bet rapture is going to happen at night or something like that, because it talks about the everything rolled back, the stars, and then there would be rapture. And I said, well, I bet it's going to be in this location. Even the location of the street was called Harvest. So I said, he's going to harvest us. And, what I do, and I was nervous. I said, my God, that's scary. I'm going to be standing out there. Do I die? What's going to happen at rapture? He said, blink an eye. It's me dying, get lifted into heaven. What's going on in the sky? I was like, what? I was scared. I was like, oh my God, I'm not sure if I want this rapture thing. I said, man, this is scary stuff. What do you mean rapture? Is it like an eagle going to come out and zap you and lift you up? Or I said, at least it's going to happen fast. We won't notice, because he said, blink an eye. And I was like, all scared. I'm serious. Like, God, I hope it's like death or whatever, right? So anyway, and that's the thing. The problem too is I told my former wife that I said, this is bad about it. I said, man, I hope I get raptured and get to going, and said, I said, I'll be back, after we get raptured, to help you here on earth and all this stuff. I said, we're going to go to some secret location or something, right? Well, anyway, she said, oh my God, she goes, you're going to die? She goes, you have to die to go rapture. And then she really scared me. She goes, yeah, you're scaring your children even, Kirk. She said, oh God, she goes, now the kids are scared because they overheard you talking about rapture, and they said, your dad's going to die. And I said, oh my God, this is the rapture thing is a nightmare. And by the way, rapture is a lie by the Catholic Church that they've written. It's a lie. And there is something that's kind of might be similar to rapture, but I don't have time to explain that elect and first fruits will be taken to a possible location for higher training, things like this. And but I don't. Let's not even go there for now, right? Because I don't stay focused. So the Lord, I'm driving back to the store. I'm driving down this country road. You get to this country road. There's a lake, a little pond off to the left, and I told the Lord, I said, hey Lord, I need to focus. I said, because I'm driving and you're not driving, right? And he got silent, and so he went silent on me, and then so I'm driving down the road, and I knew I was safe. There was no cars, right? But I just need time to focus and let this settle in, because it's kind of shocking. The Lord's talking to you and showing you visions and stuff, right? So, I mean, just before that, I was driving down the road, right? And then driving the road, talking about my grandmother, how she loved butterflies. She goes, yes, she does. She does love butterflies. And I said, about our ancestors. I said, my God. I said, our ancestors died for us and all these things. And he goes, yes, they did, Kirk. And, oh, my gosh. So then I get into, to a chill house. It was called the Butterfly Place, which was unusual because my grandmother loved butterflies, and we just talked about that. And okay, I'm not gonna lie to you. It was a alcohol testing place, and I had to go there because it's a long story that I had some false allegations of me drinking in out of police out of Boulder. So I had to go to this place, right? And I was frustrated about this whole deal. And you wouldn't believe how much they lied, trying to say I was been drinking and driving. It's a long story. They rewrote records. They did. I mean, it's a long story, so I don't need to go there, right? So anyway, so I had to do this because we made an agreement that I would never plead guilty to the court case that they had against me because I was not drunk driving. But so anyway, so we just I thought for time and money, so busy, I was trying to run for governor and all these things. I just said let's just wash it and I'll move on. Okay, so I had to do a drug test for this to work out, to pan out, where that was one of the agreements I had with the court without full punishment or whatever we just kind of to make an agreement, right? Why? So anyway, so I sit in my vehicle and I started listening to some music again. And this part I'm not going to tell you at this time because it's kind of a secret between the Father, the Lord, and myself. It's not trying to hide something. It's just not the right time to tell you a secret about Kirk and what they told me. And also, it's a really big secret that it's something that I just can't disclose because there's things that that God told you that, or the Holy Spirit, that you may not want to disclose either. It's not trying to hold secrets. It's just that it's like this Mandela effect has been releasing to some of us at certain times because we all have a different waking point that we're not ready for it, or God and the Lord knows they teach you things at your own progression that to make it stable for your life and to accept these things. That's why I can't tell this, because it might interfere with what you're doing, your plans, right? So I walk into this place to do a test, and I'm like, oh God, here we go, stupid testing. And anyway, so I sit down at a table, and the only reason I'm telling you is because this is where it's really shocking. And he told me something that literally made me. I had a Dixie cup full of water, and I squeezed it with my hand, and the water flew everywhere, and I started crying because I knew at that moment everything was real. And I said, you gotta be kidding me. I couldn't accept it. Here's the Lord talking to me and telling me things that was just so shocking to me that I just crushed the cup and the water skid. And this lady came out in this it's like a mobile home type thing where they had the drug facility. She said, are you okay? And I was in tears because the pain of the world. I was like, it's so real that my heart broke and I cried because he told me that I'd be helping this world, and that I need to accept my role and what I was going to be doing, and the pain that going through the attacks, the church attacked me, throwing rocks at me, and just I'm seriously being called poop by churches when I was trying to be a good guy, and all these things, and just horrifying. Then looking at the negativity of the world, I was like, well, you gotta be kidding me. And then it all made sense to me. I said, now I understand why I've been going through this pain and torture, is to make me understand who I am and how my role and how I could do. That'd be part of this final mission for what we're under, right? And I'll never forget that moment. I mean, it was so shocking. I said, I squeezed a Dixie cup and water, shot it because I had to drink it before. I was a little thirsty, because I had to do. You don't drink water. You got to drink a lot of water for the test, so I figured I'd drink a little bit more water and just a little bit away. Then I walk out of there and I sit, after I did the test, I sit there for hours. I'm not kidding you, folks. Waiting for rapture, saying, well, where do I need to be in rapture, and reviewing all this. I literally sat in my vehicle probably 2 or 3 hours. And then Lord and God said, that's enough. He's not going to go home. I'm sure he's going to sit in his vehicle all damn night. And so they sent the police. I'm not kidding you. Sometimes he'll do that to move me along. And I talked to police. I told them I was on a mission. He sent police from Louisville, Lafayette. They can't talk to me and said that you need to go home. And so my mother and Bob actually showed up. It's crazy, folks. It's like a movie. And Bob talked to him and said he's on a mission. And so anyway, so I went home to my mother's house because I lost both homes, and that was it, right? So rapture didn't occur, and I found out later raptures, and that's why he didn't answer me. Sometimes he doesn't answer you, so you keep searching for answers yourself. what it just said. Sometimes he won't answer you because he wants you to keep searching to answer yourself. And sometimes it's not the time. He doesn't want to say no or yes or no. So the Lord was the first one that came to me. But then I got to think, the Satan as well, because then Satan comes in and he is attacking me. He is kicking the butt out of me. He's making sure I'm on that path, folks. It sounds weird. I told you, bad cop, good cop. He is kicking the butt out. I mean, he is kicking my pants. I mean, he's sending me straight to God and Creator. He reinforced that. He reinforced that this is a serious game, that Satan's real, the fallen angels, all this crap is real, and that the Lord's real. And I mean, I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. And I mean, I can tell you so many stories of how many times Satan attacked me. It was just unreal. I was just getting destroyed. Ladies seeing naked photos. I mean, every direction, every temptation, Satan was there. I'm not kidding you. But the good thing is that God and the Lord always pulled him back and said, that's enough, bud. So, I mean, seriously, but it got rough as hell. And it's still rough. I still fight some of that. But anyway. So I want to thank Satan. That's just horrible to say. You know, that is, people are like, oh my God, it's blasphemy. You don't understand. No, it's not, because without him just attacking me and pushing me and shoving me and being the evil brother that you have, like an evil brother in the household, I would not have found that reinforcement of the Father and Lord. Maybe some people can find that way to our God and Creator, but I wouldn't. I was there, but I needed the extra kick in the pants. And because I was confused, I was in this new age crap. I was all over the place and all this manifestor. I mean, seriously, I was all over the damn place. I mean, so I still need that reinforcement, because I'm one that's very, very touchy about, I always want to have the truth, and I want to make sure. So I was always reevaluating, and also that that your God and Creator wanted you to be exposed to different religions, which is weird. I started studying Buddhism, everything I could, Tibetanism, everything. I was like, what do you know about those Islams? And I started searching everything. What about the Mormons? Started reading the Mormons. I started reading every dang religion I could. It was trying to expose me to truths and understanding religion, how there's cults behind them, and all these other things, right? So, so that's why. So you wonder why, like I keep going back to that. That's why I got to thank all of them, because they're the ones that got me on that path to finding our God and Creator and the whole truth of these things. And so I love them all. I love their Creator for making me a part of this. And this mission that we're under, folks, is just unreal, my friends. I mean, I don't deserve to be a part of this, and it brings tears in my heart and my soul, because I've had a happy life even without that. I mean, it's been rough news. This end here, boy, it's just been tough. Oh, you're kidding me. I mean, you see my videos: shot, kicked, punched, beaten, cussed at, spit on, seriously called scat, poop, this, choked by a priest. I mean, kid me. I mean, walking in eggshells. Everywhere I went. I mean, talking about targeted. I mean, you see it now. I mean, somebody come by and some lady will call somebody or this and that. But anyway, it's okay. I can accept that. I'm getting better at controlling that too, and I'll try to do a review about that, how you can build your armor and work with the team of God, the Lord, and the good as well, and the angels. Okay. So anyway, so then there's more and more to the stories and all this, and everything just unfolds, just amazing, right? It's like a movie. And the things that they show me, you can't even write. See, you don't know all my stories, and I don't have time to tell you them all. And I wish I could, because I didn't tell him Brother Raleigh one tonight, and he goes, "So you gotta be kidding me, bud." He goes, "That would be like one of the best movies ever written." He said, "That isn't crazy." Well, they actually wrote the book, the scripture. Your God, Creator, the angels, all this, and they all work together to make sure that they come off that this is like a movie, some of the stuff. And you live in a movie now. I mean, seriously, you got people walking around with face diapers on, and I mean, seriously, you can't get any more aliens this, and turn on the YouTube that, and you got resets, and you got, hey, Atlantis, you got, then dragons were real, and this, that, and there's Sasquatches. I mean, seriously, I told my mother 2 years, I said, you better buckle down, mother, because it's going to be a movie as we move forward. And it unfolded exactly like, I warned her. I said, and I didn't, even some of that was shocking when they came out with the face diapers. I said, you got to be kidding me. This is getting serious now. I said, wow, this is really serious. So anyway, so it's been like a movie, like The Truman Show. And I'm going to do some videos about that, about how I slowly been learning things more about the NPCs and this whole situation as I've progressed. And they've been introducing me to it, and probably you as well, that they've slowly been just enough, because otherwise you lose your mind, your soul, and if they just give it to you all at once. Because if the Kirk that's talking now, me, what I've learned, if I would have called myself even a year ago or two, oh my God, I said, this guy's nuts. He's lost his freaking mind. He is crazy. Because I'm telling you, there's no way. I mean, some of the stuff they introduced back then, I thought, my God, this is real and this is crazy. So anyway, so I'm telling you right now, think about it in yourself. If somebody would have told you about the Mandela effect, or some guy walked up from the future and said, hey, this, that, and you've been like, this person's lost their freaking minds, right? About orbs, the whole shebang. The orbs are real. Now we got Karens. They call it the woke. This woke movement used to be the Me Too movement. I mean, the movements are even moving. I'm sure they're introducing new themes, and this system is a damn nightmare, right? I mean, seriously, now we got the woke, and I don't know if you studied that one. The woke is actually an native thing. It's not the woke awake with God. It's the woke of how I'm woke and create more hate. You'll have ladies say, I'm woke now and I hate men, and they're self-centered, and I'm gonna do body counts, and it's disgusting stuff. And then you got men too that they're woke. Hey, I'm woke that I'm a Caucasian bi, or this, or I'm this race, and screw everybody else. This woke stuff is bad. Oof. It's a deeper terminology to, don't you get term to tend you to a term and to terminate you to problems, right? Like the Terminator, right? On terminology, all right? Boy. So you're like, God, this is long. I'm just blabbing, Kirk. I'm telling you, this is, and I also do this to document myself, to keep my sanity. I mean, this world's insane, and so don't lose your dang mind. Remember, I told you to control your mind. But anyway, so back to this. So anybody asks me what my religion is, it truly is that I'm a child of God, and the Lord is special, and He's above a brother, but He is just like the best brother and friend you can have, right? And He did show me the way, so thank you. And so that's why you got to remember that. Now, whether your journey with God and your Creator is something different, it may exist, I don't know, but that is my truth, right? And even there's something I got to tell you that I learned even tonight, that the Lord this is what blew my mind. Because I kept seeing the dogs everywhere here. Dog is God in reverse, right? You put it in the mirror of the word, spelling backwards. And a dog is unconditional love, faithful, defender, protector, just like the Lord is. Also, your God and Creator would be this person as well, right? Or not person, but this spiritual being, right? But the Lord is the same, okay? And what is amazing about that is I started thinking about that, because he kept saying, I'm the dog, Kirk. I'm the dog. I'm guiding you. A guide dog. See? Just tonight I realized. And what does a guide dog do? A guide dog leads the blind, right? So you're kind of blind at first, the spiritual stuff. Then the Lord comes along, and they say He's a lion, this and that. Well, He can be many things. They say He's a Lion of Judah, this or that, right? What else? They said He's the shepherd, and also He's the Lamb of God, all these things. But the one I do like the best is the dog, because you're a blind dog, right? You're just blind. And so He's kind of the dog that's, you're blind to the world, you're blind to God, the history, the finding our God and Creator. So you're blind, right? And guess what? Lord comes along, He's your guide dog. He's going to guide you to heaven, right? He's going to take you and kind of be silent like a dog sometimes, like I said, and He's still going to be loving there and say, hey, I got you, bud. I'm right with you. And I never realized that He's your guide dog, right? And you're not some guide dog there, Lord. And people say, well, God, why are you calling the Lord a dog? Well, it's true. He's a guide dog. He'll guide you and help you and put you in the right path. A guide dog actually can find people and leads those people blind and things too. Now, there's also dogs that are, what else? So they call them their companions, right? And they use them for when they're upset or they have anxiety issues, and that's the Lord. He can help you with that. And there's many types of dogs, but the guide dog is the one I like the best. Sorry to keep going, but I thought it was kind of cool. Found that out tonight. I think there's the Holy Spirit and also the Lord talking through me, and also God and Creator. This is all the same. Hey, Kirk, why don't you talk about the guide dog? So anyway, that's cool. Guide dog, right? Because I can tell you. So even like there's more I want to do about that. The movie, that's one of my favorite movies, is A Never Ending Story, right? And guess what? Never Ending Story, it's not really a dragon. It's a dragon, but it's also a dog. It has fluffy ears, and you're riding it. So that's like you and me riding the Never Ending Story. That's the Never Ending Story with your God and your Creator. And I'm gonna do a video about that, because there are some amazing truths in that Never Ending Story about, like you're riding the Lord or this dog, right, to finding the truths, and also that it's a never ending story. That these are all just stories, right? We got stories of Atlantis, we got stories of the Lord, we got story of Buddhist and things like that. Now also, so watch Never Ending Story if you've never seen that. It's pretty good. I think it's free right now, actually, on YouTube. Anyway, so back to this. So like I said, if you ask me what I am, I just am a child of God, and God's your Creator, and the Lord's special, and He died on the cross for us, and He loves you, and these kind of things. That's what I answer. But if you're not into the strong Christian, Christians sometimes say I'm a Christian just to say, that's kind of my path that I found the Lord, and that's my closest religion to this. But as you know, Christianity can be a trap now, and I'll try to explain that later, that you got to be careful, because there are pieces of the Christianity that will soul trap you in a way, right? Why do you think the Catholic Church and all these other things are pushing you a certain way? Because sometimes the herd mentality is the wrong way. And but I'll explain that in another video, okay? And they say, well, God, now you're against Christians. I'm not. I am not whatsoever, okay? There was one more thing I wanted to say, and then I'll cut this off, is about that, what was it? Jeez, I lost my thought here. Darn it. I was going to say one more thing. I'm going to pause it just for a second. Well, I'm going to have to probably do another video, but there's a little bit more I want to add. I'll remember right after I get done closing this. But anyway, so that's one thing you got to remember is the Bible, going back to the Bible for a second, is that there's some things that just don't make sense. Like God, even Jeffrey Daughtry, the Christian boy, he just slashes the Bible, and that's for a reason too. It's to make you keep exploring and keep doing this path that we're doing, find all these truths about, simulation resets and all these other things, right? And aliens and all those other things. But also, Jeffrey doesn't realize, I'm not insulting him, that that the storylines are broken for a reason and not necessarily sequential. And also that, for example, Adam and Eve are in the Garden of Eden, all of a sudden they go to the land of Canaan, there's already people there. It's like, well, wait, why does that, how does that happen? You got to remember that it's a bunch of collection of stories, but true stories, that they create realities to these stories. And so that's what you got to remember, right? And I'll explain more about that. That, the Bible does have a lot of true stories in them. They're real. Moses, Noah's Ark, all these things were real things that happened, okay? But, the sequence, and you got the man who's changing the Bible and screwing it up, and, you got all these influences and this and that. And I mean, the damn Bible's a mess. We know that, especially Mandela Effect. It's been, oh my gosh, the scriptures change. It's, the lion versus lamb, the wolf now, and oh my God. And then there's the buckskin, it used to be buckskin that they used to drink the wine. Now it's wine bottles or something. I mean, it's just all over the place. But that's part of the Great Deception, awakening. That is by your God and Creator that's allowing that to happen, okay? To let you kind of turn that light on and say, what's happening here? And there's also some meanings behind those that you can actually diagnose a few of them, say, well, this is what this means or that means. And I've done a few, but I don't focus on too much, because you can spend an entire lifetime just going through all the Mandela effects and say, what's the meaning behind those, right? But there are some good ones, okay? And I'll try to explain some of those if I can later. See, that's the problem that we do with, even Raleigh and I've talked about this, the brother in Boise, is that you'll see a lot of videos about this change, that change, but nobody asks why, right? What's happening? Well, we got a Mandela effect, And how is it happening? Well, that's because God and the Creator and all these other angels and stuff. And so the how, the why, I don't know. That's part of the why. I don't know what and how it's happening. How is because they're doing this, and the why is because they're trying to awaken you. That's your true, real spiritual being. They're trying to wake you up, right? And so I mean, you got to ask the why, and nobody keeps asking the why. So this first thing you should do is, why does the sun come up? Why is the clouds there? Why is this? Why is that? Right? So I'm not trying to insult them, but they should ask why, and they should actually be more receptive of talking about your God and Creator, which I don't see much of these people, right? Anyway, all right, so that's it. God bless, and you have a great happy holidays. If you don't see my videos, which I'm not asking you to do those because you're busy, I take your time even watching this one. I appreciate that. Lets me know somebody's out there that not just going into a pipe hole of nothingness. And so happy holidays, and I probably hope to do some videos this weekend. I want to do a couple cool ones. I want to do one about the Arctic weather forecast that just went through. There was actually, that was doing thermal imaging. You can actually see spiritual stuff in that. Saw some spiritual things when that Arctic blast came across. And that's the one. Then I want to do one about black and white, the colors. This whole rose black and white. Talking about colors, and Matt's been on magenta thing, but magenta is not as important as the black and white situation. Sorry, I had to smack a bug. You kidding me? And then what else? So I have some great videos, right? I just got so many that they need to make that's just so cool because they keep feeding me good information, and I doing some diagnosis and stuff like that. All right. God bless and love you all, and have a happy holidays, okay? I love you all. Take care.